Thank you very much. Hi, very good morning to all. I'm Dave, and I'm very pleased to be here. It's actually my first time in Poland. So I'm from the Singapore Economic Development Board, or EDB for short. I'm here to share with you how European scale-ups can tap into and be part of Southeast Asia's tech golden age. Firstly, just to introduce the EDB, we are a part of the Singapore government. Our key role is to actually plan and execute Singapore's economic and industrial development strategies. Basically, you could think of EDB as the industrial architect for Singapore. We develop globally competitive industrial clusters in Singapore that are part of global supply chains. We have offices not just in Singapore, where our headquarters is located, but in more than 18 overseas locations. I myself am actually based in our Frankfurt office, and I also have a role covering the Central Eastern European markets as well. So with regards to the opportunities in Southeast Asian markets, I just wanted to share with you some headline figures. You would have been hearing about some of these, perhaps in the news. The heat is certainly turning up in Southeast Asia with new waves of investments, IPOs, and exits. Golden Gate Ventures actually forecast that between the period 2020 and 2022, you would be seeing more than 450 startup exits. And this would be due to some of the late-stage private equity investors that are coming into this region and investing into this region. You would also be hearing there are quite a number of startups that have grown to become unicorns and also decacorns from the region itself. The story of Grab, headquartered in Singapore, started out as a ride-hailing app, bought over Uber's Southeast Asia business in 2018. They are slated to go public soon via a SPAC merger with Altimeter Growth Corp, and they would be valued at close to $40 billion itself. Another of our homegrown company, SEA, founded by Forrest Lee, started off also as a small online gaming company. Today, they are valued at more than 92 billion Singapore dollars. Just in this year alone, the value of their shares have actually tripled. So doesn't this sound exciting with regards to how some of these companies have grown so rapidly, and what are some of the opportunities that you can potentially look forward to? Many people have definitely said that Southeast Asia is actually entering into a tech golden age. Just some numbers to share with you to get a sense of the opportunity. The online economy is projected to triple between now and 2025. VC's investments into the region in the last 5 years have actually increased by 5.2 times in comparison to 1.4 times increase that we saw in India as well as China. Just imagine that, the amount of investments pouring into this region. And because of that, we have seen an accelerated growth in the number of unicorns emerging from the region. We count 38 this year, where actually 50% of them actually earned their title just in this year alone. This is just testament to the exciting developments in Southeast Asia, and I hope that you would be very interested to participate in this growth. Now, having talked about Southeast Asia and mentioned about Southeast Asia several times, do you know about the Southeast Asian countries? They would include the likes of Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, Philippines, Singapore, Vietnam, so on and so forth. 11 countries with a population of 650 million people and growing, twice the population of the United States. A very young population where 70% of them are under 40, extremely digitally savvy. Southeast Asia market is very diverse culturally, and even in terms of its geographical span, is very wide. There's a lot of opportunities for infrastructure developments in the region. But on the other hand, you have such a digitally savvy population, many of them going online for the first time through their mobile phones, offering many opportunities in the e-commerce space and so on and so forth. This is no surprise to you. Partly because of COVID, digitalization trend has been accelerating in the past year or so. This is the same for Southeast Asia as well. Just in 2020, the region added 40 new digital consumers who are online for the first time, many of them through the mobile phones. It's no wonder why some of your e-commerce platforms are booming in the region. Your edtech companies and apps are also getting a rapid download and rapid growth in the region as well. In terms of the kind of capital that startups could potentially look forward to accessing in this region, it's quite interesting that aside from just your VCs, you are also seeing an increasing number of the big tech companies investing in this region. Whether is it the likes of your Alibaba and Tencent, having invested in regional startups such as Lazada, and there's also some of your Google as well as your SAPs and Facebook that have invested into some of the regional startups such as Grab as well as Sea as well. So this is only testament to the kind of different types of capital that you can potentially access in the Southeast Asia region, including that from family offices. Imagine, in just 2020 alone, you have more than 220 family offices registering in Singapore, and these are aggressively looking for investment opportunities from the region as well. So they could be your potential investors from the region. And aside from that, also to mention that you have governments like that from Singapore, where we are setting up funds to support startups in preparation for IPO from Singapore itself. So lots of interesting capital partners that you could look forward to from Singapore. I've started to share with you about how Singapore government tries to participate in the funding and support in the growth of startups. If you are looking for a location to tap into this exciting Southeast Asia growth opportunity, Singapore offers itself as a globally leading business hub. Just to share with you, we have been consistently ranked by World Bank as one of the easiest places to do business. Less than 1.5 days to incorporate a business in Singapore. You know, we are English speaking. English is the medium of language, whether is it in the schools or whether is it at work. It's easy for you to integrate and to land in Singapore and to use Singapore as the gateway into the diverse Southeast Asia markets. You could also look forward to tapping into the innovation ecosystem in Singapore. We've been consistently investing to develop our public sector research and innovation ecosystem. Every 5 years, we pump in money to invest and research and support industries on their industry problem statements. Between the year 2020 and 2025, Singapore will be investing 15 billion euros to develop our public sector research capabilities, and those are tech that you could tap on, commercialize, or even to enhance your product suite offering to bring it to the Southeast Asia markets. And aside from that, we are also a location where companies could very easily access regional and global talent. As a reflection of the talent landscape in Singapore, within the next 2 years, we expect that 60,000 new jobs are going to be created in the tech and startup ecosystem. Just imagine the diversity of the talent that you will be able to access in the Singapore ecosystem itself. When you first land in Singapore, you would imagine that it is a very vibrant startup ecosystem, which you could see here on this slide. There are a few key things that we make very easy for you to access. First is actually your business partners. You would be able to access some of these business partners through some of the events that we have actually organized on an annual basis, whether is it Switch or is it Singapore FinTech Festival, where we curate and invite global corporates to post their innovation challenge statements at these events, and startups can respond, and this could lead to a potential sort of business partnership down the road. Aside from that, we also make it very easy for you to connect with what we call the enablers, the accelerators, the business incubators, the VCs. We created this portal called Startup Singapore, where you could easily find partners by industry, by specialization, or even your VCs as well, and to connect with them directly through the Startup Singapore portal. These are just some of the efforts that the Singapore government have put in place to try to make it as easy as possible for you to start up, to find your first client in the region, and to grow your business from Singapore. Wanted to share with you the journey of some companies that have found Singapore to be the place where they land their first, where they land in Southeast Asia and grow their business. Steamshop is a French startup providing technology that uses sound as a reliable and secure way to transmit data. Why did Steamshop travel half around the globe during the COVID period in early 2020 to set up in Singapore? And they already now have clients from India and Southeast Asia. Interestingly, they found that Asia's innovation-friendly environment was a lot more familiar with their technology and how it could potentially be applied, whether is it in transactions, insurance applications, so on and so forth. So they decided to use Singapore as the base to scale up and to grow their business in an environment that was appreciative of the technology and how it could be applied. Another example to share with you, Endava started out as a small tech startup in London. Today, it's grown rapidly to more than 8,000 people globally in the US, in Europe. But when they were considering where to plant their first presence in Asia Pacific, it had to be Singapore for them. And why Singapore? It's because of the three trusts that you can see here that they have shared. Whether is it to be able to enjoy the pro-business environment that we have in Singapore. And by pro-business, even during the COVID period, we never went into a full lockdown. And we were always giving businesses advance information and notice about how COVID measures may affect their business and to work with them to resolve these issues. Trust, easy for them to find the right partners that gives them the market access to the region. And of course, technological trust to be able to leverage the digital ecosystem that we have in Singapore. So these are just two examples to share with you. We really look forward, to hearing from you and to see you potentially, also tapping into Singapore to grow your business in the Southeast Asia region. In terms of addressing some of the potential queries that you may have, how to set up, how do I find my first partners, what are the resources that I have access to. We have the Singapore Investment Clinic. Every Wednesday, you would be able to chat and to discuss with our colleagues some of the challenges or some of the questions that you have. There's also a community of market entry experts that you could gain access to bounce off ideas and to seek their advice. Just to share with you some of these resources that gives you quick access to the potential project opportunities and client opportunities in Southeast Asia. Do take a look at them. And lastly, to cushion it and make it as simple as possible for you to set up, we've created a suite of digital resources. At the Connections Concierge, you would find partners that can help you to set up your business, events calendar that provides you with networking opportunities, and calculators that allow you to get a good sense of roughly how much it costs for you to set up and to operate out of Singapore. So it brings me to the end of this very short sharing with you about the potential opportunities in Southeast Asia. Do subscribe to our monthly newsletters where we pump out information about the tech sector and to give you updates about some of the industry opportunities and trends that we see from the Southeast Asia region. Feel free to reach out, whether is it via LinkedIn or subscribe to the newsletter. I hope you found today's sharing interesting, and please reach out to us for a follow-up conversation about planning your next move in Singapore and Southeast Asia. Thank you.